Today we're driving the 2024 Subaru WRX TR. This is a new trim for the 2024 model year. It sits just below the GT. However, it has a 6-speed manual transmission, and we finally get a proper set of brakes on this WRX. 6-piston calipers in the front. We also have Recaro seats, retuned steering, slightly stiffer suspension, and some chassis bracing too, which is very, very nice to have. Let's walk you guys around this WRX TR, talk about what it's been like to live with this week, take it for a drive, and give you guys some driving impressions. Manual handbrake, 19-inch wheels with 245/35 R19 Bridgestone Potenza S007 tires, and look at these brakes, they're enormous. Still the same 2.4-liter boxer 4-cylinder with 271 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. If you guys have seen any of my previous WRX videos, you know I am a big fan of this car. I think it is one of the best values in the market, especially in kind of the lower trims. You can get one of these for $32,000, $33,000, $34,000. It's really hard to beat compared to a lot of the other offerings like the GR Corolla, the Civic Type R, the Golf R. It's just so much fun to drive and very practical as well. This is kind of the ultimate family car enthusiast option. Plenty of room in the back seats. You get all-wheel drive. This TR trim is getting up there in price though at almost $43,000. You kind of have to decide if you want to be doing some of these modifications to a lower trim WRX or if you want Subaru to do it for you. Good sized trunk. No spare tire, but I'm sure you can find one and wedge it back in there. You're probably going to need it with these 19-inch wheels. I do wish they would paint the plastic cladding at some point, but if you're going to be taking this on some dirt roads, it is nice to have this unpainted. Haven't seen a WRX in white. This actually looks pretty good. A lot of contrast going on between the black fenders and the white paint, the black rear diffuser. Let's pop the hood, take a look at this 2.4 boxer turbo. No changes here. Again, just some structural changes in the chassis, a little bit of stiffening for the 2024 model year. Again, no changes in power here. We get about 19 miles to the gallon in the city, 26 miles to the gallon on the highway, though we've seen in the real world, it's actually a little bit better than that. This week, driving somewhat spiritedly, we've averaged about 22 miles to the gallon in this, and I think on the highway you could probably average around 30, maybe a little bit more. We get hood struts, which is nice to see. Let's hop inside, walk around this interior just a little bit more, and then we'll go for a drive. I actually like the look of these 19-inch wheels. They're really sharp. Sticky tires, proper brakes, a little bit of pad squeal as they're braking in, but you know it's going to be probably a little bit more of a track-capable braking setup than what we see on the standard WRX. So it's a much-needed brake upgrade. We also get 2-piston Brembo calipers in the rear too. Good to see. Great upgrade. Same infotainment that we've had before. Seems to be a little bit less buggy, but still it's super sluggish. Takes its sweet time. It's a little bit tedious to live with. All the icons are super small, but yeah, it's not ideal, but it works. You get through it. I wish we had more physical controls for climate. For example, it'd be nice to get a recirculation button that's quickly accessible. You don't have to do 3 or 4 clicks to get to it. The in-cabin air filter in this WRX really does let a lot of exhaust fumes into the cabin, so that might be something you may want to upgrade at some point. Recaro seats are hard, but very supportive. I actually quite like this seat. I'm about 150 pounds, 5'10". They fit me really, really well. Over to the left, you've got a button for your gauge cluster brightness. Nice to see that. Pop the trunk, traction off. One press is track mode, and if you one press and then hold, everything will disable here, and you'll see a bunch of lights come up on the dashboard. Trip reset. Let's see, we've got some info here: oil temp, water temp, weather. A few displays here in the gauge cluster. 22.2 miles to the gallon average this week and 211 miles. Tire pressure indicator. Nice. Let's get our boost gauge up there. Yeah, that'll be cool. Here's your reverse camera. No 360 cam for 43 grand. That's okay, not many of the other competitors have it either. Shifter feels about the same as it does in all the other WRX models. Decent shifter. Kind of vague sometimes between gates, but for the most part, nice short throw. Doesn't feel like it's the highest quality shifter in the class, but at the end of the day, I'm actually a really big fan of this manual transmission, and honestly, the SPT, the CVT, is quite good as well. All right, let's go for a drive and talk about some of this stuff on the road. Before we do, however, quick wrist check. Today's video is sponsored by Lewis Jewelers, and we are wearing the Seiko SPB 411, aka the Seiko Navigator Timer, a very cool vintage reissue watch. Love this bracelet. We have a GMT function, a second hand there, which shows a different time zone, a date, kind of a neatly domed crystal too, and it's a very thin watch. Really wears well on my wrist, and it's a very nice timepiece. For about $1,500, this is, I think, one of the coolest watches on the market for 2023, 2024. Go check it out at lewisjewelers.com. Talk to DK, and don't forget to mention TheTopher. He will provide a great buying experience for you if you're looking for a new luxury watch. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this on the wrist. In this video, let's go drive the Subaru WRX. First thing I'm noticing here, steering actually feels really good in this WRX TR. It's tight, it's accurate, it's immediate, it's very responsive. This is a car that you can really get into a rhythm with when driving. There's not a lot of rev hang here. It's an easy car to enjoy and drive on a daily basis. Exhaust is still on the quieter side. However, I do think this sounds pretty good. It's got that classic Subaru rumble, a little bit of gear whine. And there's just so much grip here. It's really pretty impressive. Pulls hard all the way up to red line. Sitting at about 2,500 RPM on the highway. Not a ton of low down torque. You do need to use your revs in this car to get the power out of it. But it's just so much fun to drive. Suspension actually feels really good in this WRX TR. I was a little bit disappointed when I first learned they didn't give us the adaptive suspension here, but honestly, this is a really nice tune. It's not super stiff, it's not overly bouncy. It feels a little bit more compliant than the regular WRX, though it doesn't have the versatility and the range of comfort and sportiness of the adaptive suspension in the WRX GT. But I think that's okay. This is a really nice middle ground, and it feels very well calibrated for this car's intended purpose, which is daily driving, sporty driving, maybe a little bit of track work too. Not a ton of initial bite from these brakes, but there is a lot of stopping power here. I think with a more aggressive track-oriented pad, you'd have a fantastic braking system here. Ultimately, this isn't that different of a driving experience versus a base or mid-level WRX costing in the low to mid-30s, but there's some refinements here that Subaru's done that really are nice. The brakes feel great, the steering is so sharp and accurate, and most importantly, it's just a fun car to drive. Is it any more fun than the base WRX? Maybe a little bit. But again, it depends what you're looking for. If you're going to be doing some of these modifications yourself, and you just want them to come with a factory warranty, this might be a pretty solid option. You get heated seats, a Harman Kardon sound system. Loving these Recaro seats too. You can definitely feel this car's kind of more economy-oriented roots with the turn signal, the shifter, some of the plastics in here. But honestly, the driving experience is so good that a lot of that fades away pretty quickly, and I just frankly don't care as much. You do get a moonroof delete with the TR in the interest of weight savings. However, this isn't very light. Weighs 3,420 pounds or somewhere around there. 3430, 3420. So it's still a little bit heavier than a base model. It's not as heavy as the WRX GT, but it's still a little bit heavier with some of the extra options and packaging than the lower trim WRXs. Let's turn traction control back on and let's test out eyesight. Steering assist. I was actually really impressed with the new eyesight system in the BRZ TS. The steering seems to do a pretty good job keeping us centered between the lines. You can skip 5-mile-an-hour increments here. Got lots of distance control here as well. On the highway, this is one of the better driving assistance systems, and it works with a manual transmission. Subaru EyeSight went from one of the most annoying driving assistance systems to one of the best. It no longer beeps incessantly at you. It just does its job. It'll remain active if you upshift or downshift. That's great. And it gives you maybe about 30 seconds or so before it prompts you to put your hands on the steering wheel. Wind noise, road noise, not too bad at speed. Cruising here on the highway at 75 miles an hour. This is pretty good actually, a little bit quieter than my Civic Type R. Maybe about the same as a GR Corolla. We didn't do a cold start in this video today, but the first few minutes of driving this WRX, the exhaust can be a little bit drony, but once you get some heat in the system, it does quiet down quite a bit. You could argue that it's a little bit too quiet. So much traction out of a corner. Let's give those brakes a little bit of a workout here. Yeah, those are impressive. Nice. Well, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I like driving this more than the previous gen STI. It's just a more fluid driving experience. The way the engine is tuned, the way the gearbox feels, the handling, honestly, feels about the same, on par. Power feels about the same, on par. It's just all of your inputs are so much better. And for the money, you've got the brakes, you've got the seats, you don't have the STI badge. This is a pretty good car. Forward collision warning is a little bit overly sensitive. Pulled up to a stop sign today and it was afraid that I was going to crash into it. But I think you can turn that off pretty easily. The infotainment, connectivity, some of the physical controls leave a little bit to be desired in here. But it's not a deal breaker. Definitely something you can live with. Overall, I'm really enjoying my time in the new WRX TR. I might almost have one of these over a GR Corolla, just down to the form factor. It's a more practical vehicle. It's more spacious. I don't feel as cramped and claustrophobic in this. There's more room in the back. There's a nice big trunk. You can have one for a little bit less than a GR Corolla. And it's no less fun of a driving experience. And arguably, the all-wheel drive system here is better sorted. Subaru has just done a great job with this new WRX. Whatever you decide to get, I haven't really driven one that I've been disappointed in. I do wish these seats went a little bit lower. I'm maxed out at the lowest seating position right now, and I still feel like I'm kind of sitting above this car, sitting on top of it. It's not like the Civic Type R where you're just so nicely sunken into the chassis. All right, those are some thoughts on the 2024 Subaru WRX TR. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate our sponsor, Lewis Jewelers, for lending us this watch this week. All right, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. We've already done a couple Harman Kardon sound system tests in these WRXs. This is going to be the same, so we'll spare you guys that. We'll do one final walk around here, and that'll be a wrap. Extra lip spoiler here too.